Leah Cain heads up sales management consultancy business Win-Win. In today's current economic climate, where every sale counts, now, more than ever, Leah finds her services in great demand. Sales forces seek out her expertise and her keen eye to the assessment of a fractured sales process. Leah prides herself on her ability to quickly identify faults within each company's own established sales process and the delivery thereof. She claims that just one day observing sellers and feeding back to sales management can be all it takes to turn a sales force around. A strong claim indeed, but one that Leah wants to prove to us today by allowing the whole win-win process to be captured on camera.
Today is going to be a huge day for Starco. Just another day for me, but for them, massive. Catch you later.
Two of Starco's most valued sales managers, Mike Nee and Bob Proctor, are eager to hear of Leah's findings after she spent yesterday shadowing and observing members of the Starco sales force.
Okay, gentlemen. Well, I'm pleased to tell you I've identified some key development areas in your business. If we can implement those, as a result, you will see your profits soar. The best way for me to present my findings to you is by way of role play. So what I'll be asking you to do is one of you will be my customer whilst the other observes and takes notes, and then we'll swap around. Okay, so who's going to be my first customer? You, great. What we'll look at first of all is that it's okay to put the customer under pressure to close this sale. Okay, Mr. Customer. So shall we sign the paperwork and get that delivery date organised for you?
I'd like to take the details away and have a think about it.
What's to think about, Mr. Customer?
Well, it's just a large purchase and I'd like to take the details home to digest. I try and avoid impulse buying.
Mr. Customer, can I level with you? This sale is now the only thing standing in the way of a 4-day, all expenses paid, sales incentive trip to Torremolinos. Are you saying you're choosing to be that person? That person who stands in my way?
To be honest, you've shocked me. You see, the thing is...
No, here's the thing, Mr. Customer. I'm going to pass you the paperwork and you're going to sign across the dotted line. You will not be the man who adds to what's already been a very shit year for me on a personal level. Now will you?
Well,
Sign it! I think I've got your attention now. Okay, so let's move swiftly on to the next scenario. No question is inappropriate in a business transaction. So you're now going to be my customer whilst you'll observe. Let's imagine, for argument's sake, that we're discussing life insurance provision. Okay, Mr. Customer, so how much is your wife's current life insurance provision?
She's insured for £50,000.
Do you love your wife, Mr. Customer?
Beg your pardon?
Just answer the question, do you love your wife?
I don't see the relevance of this.
No. That's why I'm the financial consultant, because I have the ability and the expertise to see the bigger picture. Let me put it another way for you. How much do you love your wife?
What?
You can't answer a question with a question. It's just basic English rules. Let me break it down for you a bit more. See if the penny drops this time. Would you say that you have £50,000 worth of love for your wife?
What are you talking about?
It's just I'm wondering how Mrs. Customer would react if I was to sit her down and say, Mrs. Customer, did you know that your husband has £50,000 worth of love for you? And did you also know that Mr. Jones at number 32 has £500,000 worth of love for his wife? And did you also know that Mr. Brown at number 64 that lives in the detached has £600,000 worth of love for his wife, despite the fact she can't cook and she's got an extreme case of halitosis? Mrs. Customer, I just thought you had the right to know.
I'm really offended at the tone of this and the implications.
Unfortunately, Mr. Customer, you can't talk your way out of this one. The figures are there in black and white. Now, if you don't bump up the premium today, I can't be held accountable for what happens next in your marriage. Right, gentlemen, that's lunch. So we'll meet back here in an hour. Wait, did no one spot my deliberate mistake? I said an hour. An hour? What? Are we running a ladies' netball team here? No, we'll meet back here in 9 minutes and I'll break that down for you. 2 minutes to get to the shop, 1 minute to choose a sandwich, 2 minutes to get back, 4 minutes to consume it, and that is me being generous. See you back here in 9 minutes. Okay, if we cut now, I've got some very important phone calls to make. Right, gentlemen, all fed and watered? Excellent. Right then, let's crack on, shall we?
Leah, I'd just like to...
Yeah, well, I'm going to take questions at the end, okay, Mike? Right, so let's look at the next scenario with you being my customer. Never give the customer choice, it confuses them. Okay, so let's look at the scenario that I'm booking a holiday for you and your wife, and you've specified 7 nights in July, okay? Right, Mr. Customer, well, I'm delighted to tell you that I found the perfect holiday for you and your wife. 21 nights cruising around the Caribbean. Now, did you want an inside or an outside cabin?
A cruise. We thought we'd go somewhere other than Spain for 7 nights. We weren't really thinking about cruise. Can we look at self-catering apartments in Cyprus?
When I saw you, Mr. Customer, I thought this man is classy. Did I get that wrong?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I don't follow.
I found a classy holiday for a classy customer. The very best for the very best. A fit. And then you throw in self-catering in Cyprus. I'm sorry, I just don't understand.
I think we may have crossed wires.
Exactly right, exactly my point, which is why I wasted no time in presenting the perfect holiday to you. You see, too much choice, it clouds the mind, it confuses the judgment. Can I make a little demonstration, if I may?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
Okay. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to focus on my finger. Do you think you can do that?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, so when you're ready, without looking at me, Mr. Customer, focus on my finger. Keep your complete attention on my finger. Are you looking at my finger, Mr. Customer? And if I hold it a bit closer, are you still focusing on my finger, Mr. Customer? Okay, now without looking at me when you answer, Mr. Customer, if I was to introduce a new finger, would you be able to transfer all of your focus from this finger to the new finger? Would you be able to do that, Mr. Customer, without looking at me? Are you ready? Focus your full attention on my new finger, Mr. Customer. Have you got your full attention on my new finger? And if I move it in like that, can you still see it, Mr. Customer? What about if I introduce another finger, Mr. Customer? Could you still focus on that finger, Mr. Customer? If I introduce them both now and I ask you to flit your eye focus between each finger every 2 seconds. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see what I'm doing with both of my fingers, Mr. Customer?
Well, not really. I can see
How
it
about
moving,
if I
but-
do that? Any clearer, Mr. Customer? Any clearer? Any clearer?
Stop, you're making me dizzy.
Exactly my point, and this is why I wasted no time in presenting the holiday to you. Now, on my name badge, it says travel expert. Have you got a name badge saying travel expert?
No, of course not.
Might I make a suggestion that you leave the travel decisions to the travel expert? Okay then, no more from you now, Mr. Customer. Let's just get you on that cruise. Now, is it an outside cabin or a suite? Good. Well, I think I've clearly demonstrated there that what we need to do is we need to select the best product, i.e. the one with the highest profit margin, and present it to our customers. Make them feel like the elite for being offered it. And then we just close the sale before they raise any irrelevant objections, okay? Okay, so the last scenario, but equally as important. Never relinquish control to the customer. Every business person knows that business is about power. Power is about control. Customers shouldn't take that control from us, and they will try, believe me, they will try. They'll raise irrelevant objections. Bob, do you want to give me an objection?
It's too expensive.
Pardon?
It's just too expensive.
Too expensive for whom, Mr. Customer?
For me.
Oh, for you, Mr. Customer. But you can afford to sit in our heated, carpeted, fully ModCon equipped office and drink our free coffee while we talk you through the very best deals. You can afford to do that, Mr. Customer.
I just didn't realise how expensive the total was going to
And
be.
what you also fail to realise, Mr. Customer, is that time is money. Do you think I talk you through the deals for fun? For my own entertainment? You see, the last thing I'm prepared to tolerate from you after finishing your second free cup of cappuccino is you turning round to me and saying that it's too expensive.
Sorry. Can we just stop this role play? It's just not working. Your sales development ideas are absolutely ludicrous. You threaten, you bully, and you refuse to listen.
Mike.
I'm not prepared to implement any of the sales plans you've laid out today. No way.
Yep. Classic reaction. Classic old school. You see, it's only when he embraces the inevitable changes that he'll benefit. You see, these are massive steps for him. Baby steps for you and I, but massive, huge steps for him. Yeah. It's a classic reaction. And I feel a bit disappointed for him. Because when he watches this back, he's gonna get some stick.